Last night I couldn't sleep because I kept thinking about where I'll be in 5 years. Have you ever had nights like that?
Oh, definitely. But sometimes I wonder, do we really need to have everything planned? What if our plans change completely?
That's exactly what worries me. I want to plan, but I'm afraid my plans will be useless.
Or maybe not planning at all is even riskier. What if we just drift and don't get anywhere?
Welcome to English on Repeat. I'm Nina, and with me is Sam. Today, we're talking about our plans for the future, how we make them, why they matter, and what happens when things don't go as we expect.
Hi everyone! I think this topic is really important because everyone has dreams, but sometimes it's difficult to know how to make them real. So, Nina, when you think about your future, what comes to your mind first?
The first thing I think about is my career. I want to do something creative like writing or design, but I also want a job that gives me security. It's not always easy to find both.
I can understand that. For me, the most important thing is where I live. I dream about moving to a place with a warm climate, maybe near the sea. But then I worry about leaving my family and friends behind.
That's a difficult choice. I sometimes imagine living in another country too. Italy is my dream because I love the culture, but I know it's not easy to start a new life there.
If I could choose, I'd like to try living in Spain or Australia. Both have beautiful weather and interesting cultures. But I also think about practical things, like finding a good job and learning the language.
Yes, language is a big part of it. I've started learning Italian, but I'm not sure if I'll ever be good enough to work there. Sometimes I wish I could just pack my bags and go, but real life is more complicated.
I think planning helps us feel like we have control over our lives. If I have a plan, I feel less stressed because I know what I want to do next.
I agree, but sometimes plans make me anxious. What if I choose the wrong path? For example, I studied literature, but now I'm not sure if I want to work in that field forever.
That's normal. I wanted to be a teacher when I was younger, but now I'm interested in technology. Our plans change as we learn more about ourselves.
Yes, and I think it's okay to change your mind. The important thing is to keep moving forward. Listeners, do you feel more comfortable when you have a plan, or do you prefer to be spontaneous and see what happens?
And do you think it's better to have a big plan for your whole life, or just small steps for the next year or two?
Let's do a quick activity. I'll start a sentence, and Sam, you finish it. Then we'll invite our listeners to do the same. Ready?
Ready.
In 5 years, I hope I will.
Be living in a place I love and working in a job that makes me happy.
Great! Now it's your turn, listeners. Finish this sentence for yourself. In 5 years, I hope I will. You can write it down or just think about it for a moment.
Sometimes, putting your hopes into words helps you see what you really want.
I often wonder if education is the key to a good future. My parents always told me to study hard so I could get a good job. But now I see that skills are just as important.
I agree. Some jobs need a university degree, like medicine or law. But for many jobs, you just need to show you have the right skills. For example, my cousin became a web designer after taking online courses.
That's true. I have a friend who never went to university, but she started her own business and is very successful. Sometimes learning by doing is the best way.
Also, the world is changing so fast. If you want to have more choices in the future, you need to keep learning new things. I try to take at least one new course every year, even if it's just for fun.
Me too. I recently took a photography class. It's not for my job, but it makes me happy. I think learning new things helps us stay positive about the future.
One thing that makes planning hard is that life is full of surprises. For example, the pandemic changed many people's plans. Some lost their jobs, others had to move back home, and some discovered new interests.
Yes, I remember I wanted to travel in 2020, but everything was canceled. At first I was sad, but then I found new hobbies and made new friends online.
That's a good example. Sometimes, when our plans don't work out, we find something even better. But it can still feel scary not to know what will happen.
I try to make plans, but also leave some space for surprises. If I'm too strict, I get disappointed when things change.
That's a good strategy. Flexibility is important. If you can adapt, you can enjoy life even when things don't go as you hoped.
Sam, do you remember what you wanted to be when you were a child?
Oh, yes, I wanted to be a pilot. I thought it would be amazing to travel the world. What about you?
I wanted to be a singer. I used to sing in front of the mirror with a hairbrush as a microphone. But I quickly realized I wasn't very good.
It's funny how our dreams change. When we're children, we imagine exciting jobs. But as adults, we think more about what is possible.
Sometimes I feel sad that my dreams became smaller, but I also see that my goals are more realistic now. I can still enjoy singing even if it's just for fun.
That's true. And sometimes our childhood dreams can inspire us in other ways. For example, I love to travel, so I try to visit a new place every year, even if I'm not a pilot.
When I make plans, I try to use the SMART method. This means my goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. For example, instead of saying, I want to be healthy, I say, I want to run 5 kilometers without stopping in 3 months.
That's a really good way to plan. If your goal is too general, it's easy to forget or give up. But if you know exactly what you want and when you want it, you can make a plan to get there.
Yes, and it's important to make your goals realistic. If I said, I want to be a famous writer in 1 year, I would probably feel disappointed. But if I say, I want to write 1 short story every month, I can do that.
Listeners, do you have any goals right now? Are they SMART goals or are they just dreams? Maybe you can try to make one of your dreams into a SMART goal today.
Let's do another activity. I'll start a sentence and you finish it, Sam. Then our listeners can try too. If I could change one thing about my future, I would
choose to worry less and enjoy the moment more so that I don't miss the good things happening now.
That's a great answer. Now, listeners, how would you finish this sentence? If I could change one thing about my future, I would. Think about it for a minute.
Sometimes, just thinking about what you want to change helps you understand your true priorities.
Another important part of my future plans is my family and friends. I want to have a good balance between work and personal life. Sometimes I think about starting my own family. But I also want to travel and see the world.
It's not always easy to find that balance. My sister moved to another country for her job, but she misses our family a lot. She says video calls help, but it's not the same as being together.
That's true. Sometimes our plans change because of the people we love. Maybe you want to move, but your parents need your help. Or you meet someone special and decide to stay.
Yes, relationships can change our plans in unexpected ways, but I think it's important to include the people we care about in our dreams for the future.
I agree. I try to talk to my family about my plans so they can support me. And I also listen to their ideas because sometimes they see things I don't.
Let's talk about money for a moment. I know it's not the most exciting topic, but it's important when we talk about the future. Do you make financial plans, Nina?
Yes, I do. I try to save a little money every month, even if it's not much. I want to have some security in case something unexpected happens.
That's smart. I started making a budget last year, and it helped me see where my money goes. Now I can save for things I really want, like travel or new courses.
It's not always easy, but I think having a financial plan makes me feel less worried about the future.
Me too. If I know I have some savings, I can take more risk, like trying a new job or moving to a new place.
I also think about my health when I make plans. I want to stay active and eat healthy food so I can enjoy life for many years.
That's a good point. My grandfather always says, if you have your health, you have everything. I try to exercise regularly, even if it's just a walk in the park.
Sometimes, when I'm busy, I forget about my health. But I know it's important for my future. If I feel good, I can do more and be happier.
Maybe it's a good idea to add health goals to our future plans. Even small things, like drinking more water or sleeping enough, can make a big difference.
I think many people are afraid to make big plans because they worry about failing. I feel this too. What if I try something new and it doesn't work?
I know that feeling, but I try to remember that making mistakes is part of learning. If I never take risks, I'll never know what I can do.
That's true. Some of my best experiences came from trying something that scared me. For example, I was afraid to move to a new city, but now I'm so glad I did.
Listeners, have you ever taken a risk that changed your life? Did it turn out well, or did you learn something important from it?
So, today we talked about many different parts of planning for the future: work, travel, education, relationships, money, health, and even our fears.
We shared some activities to help you think about your own plans, and we talked about why it's important to be flexible and realistic.
Remember, your plans can change, and that's okay. The most important thing is to keep learning, growing, and enjoying the journey.
And don't forget to include the people you care about in your dreams. Life is better when you share it with others.
Now it's your turn. Please write a comment and tell us, what is one plan you have for your future? It can be big or small.
Thanks for joining us on English on Repeat. We hope our conversation helped you think about your own future and gave you some ideas for making plans.
Take care and keep dreaming. See you next time.
Bye for now.